Are you proud of Nigeria? If you were Kemi Badenoch, Nnamdi Kanu, or Dele Farotimi, would you be proud of Nigeria? Let me start out here today by asking every Nigerian who is echoing Shetima's sentiments about Badenoch, Kemi Badenoch, and saying that she's bashing Nigeria. I have this question for you. Are you in Badenoch's head? Did you experience the trauma she experienced as a little kid growing up in Nigeria? Yes, your child did not. There are some Nigerian kids that are molded so strong that Nigeria doesn't happen to them the way it happens to the Kemi Badenochs of the world. But have you asked yourself how many Kemi Badenochs in Nigeria did not get a chance to leave Nigeria, who the terrible conditions in Nigeria have destroyed mentally and sometimes physically? I'd like every one of you, wherever you are, take a survey of all the Nigerians you know, 35 to 50 years old, which falls into Kemi's age bracket, living outside Nigeria, who left Nigeria in the last 10 years. Ask them about Nigeria and hear if they will tell you some love stories or if they will tell you some hate stories. Leave Kemi alone.
Tonight I think of my home where I was born.
Folks, in the last 28 days, Bold Talk picked up 665 new subscribers. In 3 years, we've never picked up 50 new subscribers in 28 days. 665 is significant. And I want to say thank you to you. Before you get into the video, I'm appealing to you to please like our video, subscribe to our video, share our video so more people can subscribe. I guarantee you that 95% of those new subscribers are people who the video was shared with that never knew about us before that. And at the same time, please make sure you drop a comment. Our last video from 3 days ago is pushing on almost 13,000 views, but more significantly, over 200 likes and over 200 comments. We thank you for that. Now, let's address Vice President Kashim Shetima's nonsense about Kemi Badenoch.
Migrants are the source of life in all societies. Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, is originally from India. A very brilliant young man. He never denigrated his nation of ancestry, nor poured venoms on India. Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. 1 out of every 3-4 black men is a Nigerian. And by 2050, Nigeria will surpass the United States, will be the 3rd most populous nation on earth.
Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. I shake my head when I listen to Nigerian leaders. The Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shetima, in that video where he was trying to denigrate Kemi Badenoch, just said that migrants or immigrants, I'm using it interchangeably here, are the engine of every society. Very true. But we should modify that and say should be the engine of every society. What Kashim Shettima and his boss Bola Ahmed Tinubu and their predecessor Buhari have supervised and continue to supervise is a country where migrants have become the destroyers of the society, in this case Nigeria, where they are being allowed into. It's under Kashim Shettima's flirtation with Boko Haram and Buhari's opening of our boundaries to Fulanis from all over the world that were coming without good intentions, but to infiltrate Nigeria and bring their jihad to Nigeria and bringing in their herdsmen. It's those migrants and immigrants that have been allowed into Nigeria under the supervision of Shettima and Buhari and enabling by Bola Ahmed Tinubu so that he could be president. He refused to say anything about it. That's what migrants have brought to Nigeria. So the migrants and the good things they bring to societies they go to that Shettima was talking about is in other countries, not in Nigeria. And the things those migrants are doing in Nigeria and the trauma of lack of leadership in Nigeria when Kemi was growing up may be the things that have shaped her to see Nigeria the way she sees it today. And nobody, not me, not any journalist, even the ones in good standing in my book, none of us have the right to try to make Kemi say what we want her to say about Nigeria. Kemi should say what she thinks about Nigeria. And as much as I continue to dream of the day that I can move back to that country, as it stands right now, that country stinks. And that's what Kemi is amplifying. Among those people who are referencing what Shettima said about Kemi and more or less supporting his sentiment that Kemi shouldn't be bashing Nigeria, the same people know that Shettima is a sympathizer of Boko Haram. Shettima wines and dines with Boko Haram. Shettima hasn't categorically condemned what Fulani herdsmen are doing across Nigeria. And many people who are supporting his criticism of Kemi are against his lack of action against Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen. Why is that important? Because part of what he said was trying to compare how Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister of Britain, relates to India positively, and how Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party today, which puts her in a position to possibly become a Prime Minister, how she negatively talks down on Nigeria. But what we are not thinking is what has shaped Rishi Sunak's positive thoughts about India and what has shaped Kemi Badenoch's negative thoughts about Nigeria. We can't force how we want her to feel. She can only feel what she feels based on the background and the trauma she experienced growing up in Nigeria. Being a country where kids don't shed light on what they think, something she may have bottled inside her and finally has a platform to talk about. Kemi Badenoch may need to tone down her way of talking. But that's if she chooses to. I too cringe about certain things she says, but I can't force her, and none of you can bully her into talking about Nigeria the way you want her to or the way I want her to. That is wrong, and we have to leave Kemi to be Kemi, and we have to raise more Nigerians to be able to challenge Nigeria and Nigeria's leader and Nigeria's filth the way Kemi does. In Lagos, the bigots among us remain proud to carry signs that say Igbo must go. Richie Sunad comes from a country where health care is almost excellent. The screen you're looking at on top are patients in a hospital in Nigeria. You could compare that to the patients in hospitals where Richie Sunad comes from, and you'll understand why Richie Sunak doesn't have to criticize his country, because his country offers things he's proud of. Nigeria offers things Kemi is not proud of. Should Kemi be a little more held back in the way she says things? Yes. But her experience and her trauma in this country called Nigeria is something only Kemi Badenoch can understand. And when Kemi Badenoch talks about these things, maybe we need to slow down and try to see what Kemi Badenoch is feeling that is the reason she says what she's saying. Besides, she's a politician. Politicians are going to say what it takes to be elected. Is that good or bad? You be the judge. But as long as she's not killing, grabbing it, and running with it, and snatching it, come on, guys. Let Kemi Badenoch be. Now, with all that said about Kemi Badenoch, let's get into the ongoing Dele Farotimi saga. Now, all those people who are coming out with supporting Afe Babalola, may God give every one of us life to be here when all of you will stake your faces in the sand in shame. Because the evidence here that's coming out, not just within Nigeria, but from the U.S. courts, is embarrassingly overwhelming.
Love way, love way, love lily. Love way, love way, love lily. Oh, where am I? Low, if we move. Hello, if we move. I am adore, lele. Adore, lele. Idu kwa samaka onyoma odika powder. Idu kwa samupu onyoma odika fomu. Idu kwa samishi onyoma odika pilu. Oh lo 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 lo, aduru bwebule wakamwa iwariwo. Ice. Rosa Olerio, Rosanna Olerio, Rosanna Olerio adikadimba. Adure Oleri, Adure Olerio, Adure Aturubwebule wakawa iwariwo.
I think it's good to end with a little reminder for my viewers, but for everybody, a little reminder about what Asio Rock, the powers that be in Nigeria, and Afe Babalola are scared of between Dele Farotimi and Nnamdi Kanu. We already laid out Kemi's case in the front. So let's end with sound bites from Dele Farotimi and Nnamdi Kanu, and it gives you an idea what the rogues who call themselves our leaders and our elite, what they are scared of.
I thank God for Tinubu. Without Tinubu, I wouldn't know the things I know today. Some people I thought were men. In fact, some people I thought were gods. They've been revealed to be men, just men. How would we have known how useless our judiciary is if it wasn't for Tinubu? Men who used to talk about citizenship, freedom, electoral rights, it doesn't matter to them. Some men would have gone to their graves with honor if it wasn't for Tinubu. Do you know how many people Tinubu has torn naked? If Tinubu were to be a man whose evil was ambiguous, if it was possible to say maybe he's not bad, it would have been very easy for them to continue pontificating and sounding like men of God. But the fact that the man is so unrepentantly and clearly evil, and they have found accommodation for him, and they are the ones excusing the evil, explaining the evil, looking to normalize the evil, Tinubu can only be thanked though.
This persecution of the Igbo people, this orchestrated, almost global persecution of the people stops with me. It cannot happen. It can never happen. That is why we do what we do. That is why I do what I do. I am campaigning for the freedom of my people because of the persecution that we are facing. It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you very much.
The rules change when it comes to you will understand the virtuousness, the emptiness of all the charges against me. They kept switching the charges.
Yes.
They said I committed this crime in England, isn't it?
Yes.
I made a broadcast in England.
Yes.
And in 9 charges leveled against me, this place where I committed this crime was London, United Kingdom.
Yes.
When my lawyers came to see me, I had a
defense.
discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself.
They removed it.
I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me.
They removed that long.
Because since this offense was committed in England, so they said, it's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it?
Yes. Based on that, they removed long.
Based on that, they now amended the charge again and removed London.
Location of the block.
Location of the block. Contrary to section 196,
174 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2022.
in violation of their own laws. In violation of their own laws. And you want me to stand trial under such circumstances? Is that possible? Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial where all these shenanigans are going on? It's not possible.
That's it for this episode. And once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had. There in my home, we had no sophistication. We had no timepiece, the cockcrow and the sun, all we had. Rise early at sunup, we'd go to the farms, drive the monkeys away from the maize farms, and the birds away from the rice farms. Come back home at sundown, sometimes a little later. Women get busy on pounded yam, and we all eat together. Lagos, no one cares for none. They fight and scramble for buses. They're always on the move. Never enough accommodation, and the roads are always jammed. Oh yes, I think of my home, the songs of the birds